Isn't it time that vacation rental hosts actually got rewarded? For a limited time, hosts can earn a OneKey Cash travel bonus for listing an eligible property on Vrbo. OneKey Cash is flexible rewards currency you can use across Vrbo, Expedia, and Hotels.com on flights, stays, and so much more. With Vrbo, you're not just a property, you're a partner. So get transparency, host control, and quality guests, not surprises. Surprise! Host where you're valued. Host with Vrbo. Visit vrbo.com/goodmorning to see how much you can earn. That's vrbo.com/goodmorning, and terms and conditions apply.
All right, Tim. Well, we are in snowy New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
Well, I mean, this is the vacation rental of the year. We got these in every nook and cranny of the world, 8 different countries, 80 different houses. And we really tried to highlight the depth and breadth of types of homes that are available in the vacation rental industry. And we sell like crazy on Vrbo.
I loved this. This was in my neck of the woods. I feel like when you get ski vacation, highlights, it's usually Colorado. So I love seeing the Northeast represented, and easy drive from Boston. So didn't hate that either.
Plus, I got to have clam chowder last night.
Exactly.
I don't want Colorado clam chowder.
Where have those clams come from?
Yeah, doesn't sound good.
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yeah.
So we got a nice tour from the owner. Walked out on the ice, which as a Southerner, I've never done in my life. A little scary.
Did you talk about liability insurance? Or
I did ask what kind of insurance coverage they had. But what, from a Vrbo perspective, makes this home jump out?
Yeah, so let me tell you a little bit about the process for how we choose these homes. So first, out of over 2 million vacation rentals, it starts with a data-driven exercise. It's like, this is a home that has absolute consistently gotten 5-star reviews. This one has 78 of them.
No small feat.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to do that at scale. Mm-hmm. You're always going to have someone that's like, I've decided I'm in a bad mood. It's a 4.
Yeah.
But this is clearly a 5-star. Obviously, never had a cancellation, and we will it down to that list. But then from there, this is a great opportunity where we leverage my team of about 250 global account managers. It's their job to understand the markets and the homes. So we tell them, out of this list, tell us about someone. And they then pick the homes that were memorable over their account management experience. Yep. And then there's a process of it's not just about the house. We then have members of our staff that reach out and get to know the host a bit, because we want to make sure it's not just about the home, it's about somebody who really is passionate about hospitality.
Yeah, what I think was really impressive is downstairs there are so many pairs of cross-country skis, snowshoes, a snowboard, there's all these canoes, the toys are here. And my initial thought was oh, these must belong just to the family. And he's like, no, everybody can use these. And I mean, as a professional property manager with, managing hundreds or thousands of homes, that concept is crazy. And I think that that's also why these smaller managers provide a great experience, because there's 7 pairs of snowshoes downstairs. The whole family can go out on the lake.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear your perspective on, why couldn't a professional manager? Sure, there'd be cost to doing that, but if you had somebody that was locking in a commitment for a number of years to do it, I don't know.
I was like, how have these not gotten stolen yet?
That's a good point.
We had people take blenders and toasters and the salt and pepper shakers that aren't even the fun, little Virgin ones that say stolen from Virgin. They're just, regular salt and pepper shakers. So, and if the thought that people are so trusting, of their guests, and that also speaks to, I think, the kind of guest that's coming here to really enjoy nature and their group that they're coming with, and they're not stealing your Nordic skis, I think is great.
I think from what I gathered, David, the host, is pretty thorough with his house rules.
Yeah.
And there is a conversation that happens with every guest to make sure that they're going to treat
I would need someone to explain, and he did explain all of those to me. These are the skates that are meant for this. And,
yeah, this guy's from Alabama. He's probably got any fishing rods. I guess he does have fishing rods.
I would love to go ice fishing.
Yeah.
That's
which sounds like a fun experience, right?
List.
What's not to like?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ever the host, he wanted to show us the lake, and I was in all of my gear was upstairs, and he just showed up with a pair of boots. He's like, "I have other boots for you," and we walked right on the lake. So it's very clear that hospitality is a part not only of like his journey with Vrbo in this home, but also part of the home. Like everything in this experience is top tier hospitality.
Yeah, what was so cool, I felt like, was when the team first told me that, he's an MIT professor. I'm like, okay, so it's going to be like super like high tech. And like, that's actually not the vibe. I mean, it's got the stuff you need. But then when I met him and he was talking about like, my inspiration was when I was a kid, I liked to go to camp and I wanted basically high end camp for families and groups. Like, I was like, that makes total sense. Sold.
And he nailed it with location specific amenities that wouldn't make sense in a house even across the street or 3 blocks down.
Yep.
So on the amenities, this house has all of the toys.
Yep.
But more broadly speaking with Vrbo, what are the top amenities that if we don't have them in our houses, you should consider?
Yeah, I put it into 2 different categories. The first category is you probably have it, you just need to disclose it. And that is Wi-Fi, washer, dryer, air conditioner. Like there's a distinct, I mean, yeah, but you'd be surprised how many people for whatever reason forget to check that amenity.
Yeah, I think it's a given.
And then you're just those amenities travelers are looking for and using as filters so frequently that if you forgot to do that, you're going to not show up in the majority of searches. And that's a problem. Then I would think about the key amenities I would think of as are somewhat location and seasonal. So, if it's the beach or if it's warm weather, pool is always a really key one. Mm-hmm. Like it's one of the most highly used amenities. And then in particular, in locations where you want to attract fall and winter crowd, it's going to be hot tub and fireplace. So I think that's just, those are the things that are like just such clear differentiators. They're not, as bespoke and exciting as like golf simulator or, like people always talk about
cold plunge.
Yeah. Cold plunge.
Saunas.
Or the electric car charger, like also important, also gives you impressions, but that's not used as nearly often as people that say, yeah, I want a beach house with a pool.
Are those additional, the saunas, the hot tubs, the cold plunges, do they actually move the needle or are they just 100%. Really good at, okay.
100%. Yeah. I mean, I think there's just very clearly, they're very, very easily and very frequently used filters. And as such, you're going to have more impressions if you have them.
Well, I think it's interesting like about the Wi-Fi, and that's something that we kind of take for granted, but especially in this kind of like post-COVID world when people might want to come up here for 2 weeks, but if you have to take calls, you want to be sure that not only is there Wi-Fi, but like, is this Wi-Fi reliable?
100%.
And once you get out into the woods, that can be questionable. So being able to like guarantee to your guests that they're going to be able to take their call and then go out on the lake, that's a big deal.
Yeah. And it's actually a little bit different by country too. Like in Spain for some of our properties, like it actually isn't a given that they're going to have Wi-Fi.
I mean, the AC in Spain for sure, that is not a given.
It can get
thick stone walls, you don't even get it.
Yeah.
Rim to rim. So we talked about how this home has a lot of 5-star ratings. Yep. The host is super interactive. Aside from amenities, what are some of the best ways to actually boost your rankings or be higher in the algorithm?
Yeah, I mean, it always starts with delivery of quality of experience, which is where really the cancellations and the reviews come in. But beyond that, I would say it's about demonstration of value. And the easiest way to do that is via promotions. Okay. So for promotions, I guess it was last June, we launched early bird promotions, last minute promotions, mobile promotions, and member only deals. And what we've seen is that properties that are using these new promotions are converting 40% better than those that don't. So
what's the average promotion?
I don't know that I'm at liberty to speak to what's average, but I can tell you that the typical one that we use as entry level is 10%. Yeah. And worth noting, the 4 I mentioned don't stack on top of each other. So we'll just take the largest of the ones that are eligible. However, if you get a week-long stay and you have a week-long discount of 10% length of stay, and then you have one of those promotions, they would stack. So it's critical that you understand what seasons you're using them, what market you're in, because you certainly could understand if you were in the Northeast,
Yeah.
where you kind of have like a 12-week season,
Yeah.
and every booking you have has a 20% discount, that might be a problem.
Yeah.
So we just, we're here to have a conversation with you about how you're going to demonstrate value versus other properties, while also, driving the cash flow that you want out of the business.
Yeah. And I think it's great for managers that are like, okay, how do I get that shoulder season or even off season? It's like, okay, let's be creative. If you were going to get no revenue, maybe you have a steeper last minute booking or early bird for these types of, periods of the year to kind of encourage that booking, which that we were talking about this earlier. The booking window is just ever shrinking. So kind of anything you can do to get people in there.
It's
and
either
booked.
ahead in the bed or not.
Yeah.
So, I think that in particular, the last minute one, it's a promotion and we're giving you straight through pricing for it, but it's really just smart yield management.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably doing it already. So
Yeah, you're not
you
getting
may
credit.
as well just get credit for it. Exactly. Since COVID, we've had a really big supply boom in the short-term rental industry.
Bubble.
Some might say.
Okay. I was going to say it's really good for the platforms, theoretically.
Works for us.
Is the gold rush over?
If by gold rush you're referring to, you're going to do this, it's going to be easy, and I'm going to get rich.
You buy any home in any vacation
Hell yeah,
rental
it's over.
market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, it's over.
Say it louder for the people in
Yeah.
the back.
Listen, I think, we all that manage properties, whether you're a professional property manager or an individual owner like myself, like I remember during that time, I'd have an open Monday and Tuesday night and it would get booked at rack rates. And I think that created the perception that this is easy. Because now there's so much supply on the market, I think it's actually, we're pivoting back more towards like the quality narrative.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you can demonstrate quality and you can demonstrate value, you're the ones that are going to win. And if you're inconsistent, I think you're hosed.
Yeah.
I think that that's the inventory that if in fact we believe there's a bubble, that's the part that will eventually go to long-term rental or something else because it's not going to work.
I feel like any PMs that are dealing with frustrated owners should send them this clip, because I think there is this kind of unrealistic expectation when people are either like, well, in 2021 and 2022, we were making blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, there is a kind of a different reality now. And also to your point about quality and consistency, if owners aren't willing to kind of now reinvest, maybe 5 years after they bought the property, it's time to refresh things. Like that is important. It is important to have new photos. It is important to replace some things throughout the home to like make sure you keep that quality up, because the people that are providing quality are going to crush you.
Yeah, it's amazing
Mm-hmm.
how frequently I hear about PMs that are still having these conversations with their owners. It's still happening. I mean, we're 5 years later.
Yeah.
Owners bought at peak prices, at peak interest
Peak
rates,
demand.
and
The math
then
changed, folks.
Math changed big
Yeah.
time on both sides, right?
Yeah.
They can't sell the house for what they bought it for, and they're not making what they might have made in year one or that they were told they were going to make. But yeah, I think, and I've heard Vrbo talk about this a little bit, but we certainly seem to be in the quality over quantity phase. We've
100%.
pushed the quality or quantity as far as we can. Demand is still growing, but it's not growing at the same pace that supply is growing.
Our business is doing absolutely amazing. Does that mean that the average owner is making more than they ever have?
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Almost certainly not.
Yeah. And, what I would also say is like, I believe in the state that we are in the industry, that the quantity of properties that you have is totally a vanity metric, whether you're an OTA or you are a property manager. It's actually more about having enough selection so that there's something really good on the shelf when the traveler comes.
Mhm.
And then when the traveler actually stays at the property, it's an amazing experience because that's good for the property management brand, or that's good for Vrbo, for us as an OTA. Every time there's a bad experience, that's bad for a PM, it's bad for OTA, it's bad for the category, which is why anybody that's shouting from the mountaintops about X number of units they have, I'm kind of like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Plus, all the VCs that cared about that changed their tune. So,
Very
Yeah.
quickly. None of them are around anymore.
well, and that's, I think it's important also, we were talking about promotions, right? And all these different things that you can do. It's important that people understand the OTA game. Like, there is a way when you bring a property online that, to get as many good reviews as you can, there is a pricing strategy and a promotion strategy. And it's interesting that since I've changed companies, there is this reluctance I've discovered among homeowners to do any of that. They're like, no, this is the rate we're going to start with. You can't discount until a certain percentage or whatever. And it's like, no, there's a reason why this happens. Like, we want to position you for the long term on Vrbo. And these are kind of some of the things you got to do to make sure you get the guests in there right away.
I would just ask that owner, like, do you stay at vacation rentals? They'd be like, uh-huh. Well, would you book one that has no reviews? Well, I don't know. Probably only if it was discounted. Bingo.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
For the right price.
That's the thing. And like, even, being in the industry for a long time, when I go to book a home, I am immediately the number of reviews, even if they have maybe a slightly lower score. If someone has like a 4.79, but they have like 200 reviews, I'm like, okay, let's take a look.
They've been in the game for a while.
They've been in the game for a while. And also, let's see if they made some improvements on those reviews. How have they responded? And I think that's, if you have 2 reviews and you're like, it really
Still uncertainty.
So it is, I think we are in this, so we know how to be sophisticated when we're looking as a traveler. But I think it's also important to educate homeowners. Like, this is how you are being perceived on the other side.
Yeah,
that's right.
it's no different than hotels. I mean, hotels that have been this hotel that we're staying at up here has been around for 125 years. So it's going to have reviews for as long as the internet has been around, but it's really about what's happened most recently. And I do think that's a delineation that a lot of us in the travel space apply to hotels, but don't necessarily apply to short-term rentals. And we just look at the broad filters, not actually what's been going on lately.
Yeah.
And it could be a new owner, it could be new furniture, it could be a new management company. That listing could have passed hands, but it is all the factors are important, but quality right now with reviews, there's more supply than ever to choose from. So the traveler has all the options.
Yeah. One thing I would say that's different than the hotel category typically, though, is the hotel categories have major brands that have a standard that you recognize. And I would say that there are certain vacation rental companies that are trying to institute things like that. And Vrbo certainly, we're leaning into certain standards in terms of accept your bookings and don't cancel them.
Yep.
But the vacation rental category for years has not had a ton of standards.
Yep.
And I think that's why the online content and the reviews is even more important. And the opportunity for everybody to lean into a standard for our industry.
Yeah, I was about to say, is it time for third-party industry standards? I know you guys are working on some, which is great, and we know that's going to play into algorithms and whatnot, but it sounds like you're saying there's a call for the industry to now figure out as a collective how to proceed.
I think one way or another, listen, all of the studies that we did indicate that the primary bad vibes that people have around vacation rentals is it's just uncertainty. I don't know if it's going to, first of all, I don't know if the property even real or exists. I have no idea if the host is going to cancel on me. I have no idea if when I get there, it's actually going to look like the pictures. And anything that we can do, whether that's through online data or vetting or continued, frankly, policing our industry, that's the right thing to do, especially in the context of there's so much freaking supply out there.
Masses.
Yeah.
We can carve out some supply and we're going to be fine. Yeah.
Well, and I think that's what, our industry, it's particularly challenging because, we're in someone's home right now. Whereas hotels, you're saying there's a certain way this hotel is built and then furnished, and there's SOPs and they're same everywhere. But we're dealing with thousands and thousands of homes that were built uniquely in some cases. So I think we have this extra challenge of figuring out, okay, what are the standards that we want everything to have that is possible in all of these different homes?
Yeah, it's hard. There's a reason nobody's quite nailed it yet. I think we're taking a stab at it from the online experience and data, but you as a PM, I'd be curious to see like, well, how would you do this? Like, I know that people work
Yeah.
with like in Haven, for example, because
Yeah.
they verify a certain quality of some of the things that are going into the
High
homes.
touch
Like
points.
that's
Yeah.
probably an interesting opportunity for people to think about how things are, the quality of the items in the house. But
Yeah.
isn't there also then there's a standard operating procedure and a standard of quality that you need for cleaning? Because we know that's the most important
Oh
thing.
my God. And the cleaning, I mean, and when you start getting into like, I mean, a company that has 40 or 50 housekeeping vendors, it's like, okay, how do we track all of this? And I think honestly, it also comes back to reviews, tying like something like housekeeping to the stay and having like a leaderboard of, okay, you have this housekeeper is consistently getting 5s.
Mhm.
And then the housekeepers or the house cleaning companies that are consistently falling behind, you put them on a PIP just like you would an employee.
Mhm.
And if you know, in 30 days you can't do it, then you get rid of them. But it's using data-driven decisions to kind of create those standards, and reviews really like I, as a PM, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, we're like a slave to these reviews. And like, I get a little jaded about it. But then I'm like, this is actually real-time feedback that we're getting,
It is. I would say as a traveler though, I feel inclined to give a 5-star, even if it's not. And so travelers are
Some travelers don't feel that way.
maybe not, but I don't think it's a good feedback system. I don't think it is the purest.
There's got to be
No.
a better way for our category.
Yeah.
I'm still not 100% sure what it is, but
Yeah.
I've certainly been giving it some thought. I mean, I think, yes, it's a problem that sort of five is the bare minimum, really.
Yeah, it's
Um,
5
Yeah.
or everything else is awful.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it does also, I mean, in the law of large numbers, reviews is a decent indicator of quality,
Mhm.
we found. I mean, there's a story I'll tell you. There was a property manager of mine that I'm also friends with. And he, a few years ago when the Premier badge was a little bit different, he lost Premier. And we started digging into why. And we started noticing all these reviews that weren't so great in a very specific area. And he's like, well, that's exactly where I changed the cleaning company.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, once you do your homework, I think there's still value in there
Yeah.
that makes it an okay system. But like, I agree with you. There's
Yeah.
probably a better way.
Well, and it gives people, you can incentivize different people in your team, right? Like, and empower them to be like, okay, like this is why, like, and you can tie bonus performances to it and things like that. And be like, because this is the other part, like this industry is incredibly laborious and ops is a beatdown a lot of the time. So it's making sure that your staff feels empowered to deliver that experience all the time. And so I think that can also be a good, gauge. But I think sometimes when guests think that the star rating is like a hotel star, and the ones that just drive me insane, I remember seeing like 3 stars, everything was fantastic. And it's like, then why is it 3 stars? And I remember traveling with my mom at one point, and she had booked the stay, and she was like, well, this was great. So I think I'll leave it a 4-star. And I was like, what are you doing? No,
Yeah.
like it was 5 stars regardless. And as a PM, I will privately message if something has happened.
Yeah.
But I was like, I know like the pain that it takes to overcome these reviews,
Pain to overcome a 4.
Yeah, a four.
is
I mean,
bad.
it might as well
It
be a
hurts your
1.
numbers.
You're just like, oh my God. At one point we calculated how many 5-star reviews we'd have to get to combat 1 4-star review. And
Yep.
it's yeah.
Sounds like something Andreas would do.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
A big part of what Expedia has been putting out over the past year has been the B2B
Yep.
side of things. How much of that has trickled into the Vrbo brand, and
Mhm.
what should we expect over the next year from that?
Yeah. So public company stuff probably can't give you any exact numbers,
Yeah.
but I certainly can tell you that our B2B growth has doubled year over year for vacation rentals. And we
Interesting.
look forward to it scaling even more this year when we start putting the inventory into more demand channels that will really amplify it. And we think that we've solved a lot of the technology issues that are going to enable us to do that this year. I would say that the revolution has already started in terms of putting vacation rentals on Expedia, where
Mhm.
we're showing absolutely explosive growth. So I would say that, we've talked on this show before about the years where we were replatforming.
Mhm.
Based upon that replatforming, that's what enabled us to launch promotions last year.
Yep.
That's what enabled us to have vacation rentals really start to ramp on Expedia last year. And I think that this year we're going to see similar ramp on B2B. And that's the name of the game, right? The name of the game is taking advantage of the full depth of Expedia Group and the capabilities that it has.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now that I'm in like more of the traditional VR
Yep.
world, and I was like, so when are we going on Expedia? And I feel like there's still in some segments of the industry this like that is the hotel, like we're not going over there. And I'm like, no,
You're there. As long as
I
you're recent
know.
book, you're there.
I know. And I was like, there needs to be like, to your point, taking advantage of all of these things that we have at our fingertips. Like, let's all make some more money. You know?
And on the flip side, the multi-unit players like the
Yeah.
one you used to work for, that is now showing up as a proper clustered room type
Amazing.
rate plan
Yep.
on Vrbo. So the distribution is working both ways. And I think that we're continuing to optimize it and personalize it. I mean, for example, you got the World Cup coming up.
Oh yeah.
And, in Kansas City, I don't have a lot of good vacation rentals, but there's some pretty good multi-unit condominium inventory. So we're trying to think about how do we surface that better, especially stuff if I know that it's close to the stadium.
And the Europeans are probably more familiar with the Expedia brand than the Vrbo brand. And,
Oh, for sure.
And so being able to cross-pollinate the platforms by regions as well should be super helpful.
It's what will enable us to be a much more global company.
So enabling things, AI has
We
been
made it.
enabling.
How long did we make it before AI?
A
Most
minute.
of the way.
Yeah.
Most of the way. But AI is everywhere. You can't ignore it. I use it every day. I'm the least technical person that I know of. How does Expedia Vrbo view it, both from a supply side of things, but also a demand or a guest function?
I think we're incorporating it into everywhere we can within our technology. I think that we have summarized reviews. That's probably the one that as a traveler, I find the most intuitive. If you have 200 reviews, you don't feel like going through 200 reviews. With AI, we do a very good job of summarizing those reviews. That's one that I'm excited about. We also then sort of in the service experience are using it to answer certain questions. Over 1.3 million questions have been answered by our AI-driven chatbot successfully. So we're excited about some of the scale that it will bring us, but at the same time, like hospitality, in particular vacation rental hospitality, requires a human touch.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that as a business, we don't over-rotate to AI, because that's an exciting thing to say on earnings calls.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
How do you ensure the delivery of hospitality in the age of AI? And we've all seen it checking in at hotels or short-term rentals. Everything's automated, which is great because it rarely slips through the cracks. But then particularly for smaller properties, smaller hosts, the personal touch sometimes gets washed out.
Yeah, I think some of it really matters by, you have to bring like the warmth that comes with vacation rentals into it. Like the examples I always think about are like the perfect welcome gift that is, something that is related to the local location. Well, like, I don't know, like understanding what is actually going to be emotive. I don't think AI understands that. So it's that plus, personal communication that's not always just bot driven to make sure that, hey, this is the place I take care of, Mr. and Mrs. Traveler. I just wanted to confirm that everything's great. Like that check-in, I think still really matters.
Casual, non-robotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like an out of office.
And I think it'll be exciting, like for AI, once we start getting into like, how can that help on the back end? How do we, setting up new listings when you can do like a batch of 100? Like, I think that once we start perfecting that side of it, that's where like the real exciting stuff is going to come in. And that doesn't really touch on or infringe upon the hospitality. It actually will free up teams to have more time to write the personalized note or go greet the guest or whatever it may be.
Automation of tasks. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's AI that crazy.
Absolutely.
There's plenty of those in this industry.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
OneKey was big news year and a half ago. How is that percolated into Vrbo? It kind of seems like from a traveler perspective, maybe it's been pushed down a little bit compared to some of the other Expedia brands. Is that the case? Or
I think we've tailored the OneKey program based on the various brands. I think the the significant thing that's really been helpful for Vrbo is we found, I think it's something like 2/3 of the people that booked on Vrbo and used OneKey Cache were somebody that had never been on Vrbo before, which means that that is somebody that's coming to the vacation rental category, which
Right.
is great. That being said, for people that are actually booking on Vrbo, traditionally it's a brand where people have booked 1 or 2 trips a year. The ski trip, the beach trip, and because of that, the idea of sending out a bunch of OneKey Cache for somebody that does 1 booking a year, that money was going to be used in a better place by us. Right. That being said, if somebody is a gold or platinum traveler, you still do get earn on Vrbo.
Yeah. Collect on business travel, burn on leisure.
Yeah, that's the idea. And, we are still primarily a leisure site.
Yep, for sure. Anything else you want us to cover specifically? Any big news coming up that we can break here?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, one thing that I'd probably want to shamelessly plug is we are having sponsored listings that are coming out this year.
Nice.
We already have them live and on the site and in pilot with just a handful of very large property managers.
Back to the
Do you
HomeAway
need
roots.
some more beta testers?
I don't know. We can talk afterwards. I mean, the idea is that, listen, there's a history in this category of people paying for visibility. And, we require that a property is of certain quality to get that visibility. But once you're there, if it's a new property or if it's a property that hasn't gotten a booking in a while, it's an opportunity to guarantee placement, which is something that I think property managers that I've talked to are really excited about. I actually had one that literally physically shook me. He physically shook me and said, I want to be the first one. Yeah.
I want to know off camera who that was.
Yeah.
I love that though, especially if you're a property that hasn't been booked in a while, because it just becomes this doom loop where you're on page 12 and how do you get out of that? And if it's a good property, just has been booked maybe direct or whatever, and it's just lingering back there, it's a great way to.
And in a time of oversupply, everybody's terrified of churn.
Yeah.
So you guys could have your churn signals and we'll sell you a sponsored listing.
Yeah.
Boost it.
Yeah.
So that's one way to boost rankings. Back to one of the first questions.
Yeah. Coming this year.
I know you're a public company.
Yep.
And we've talked a lot about where some growth is going to come from. What area are you most excited about?
The early results that we're seeing on Expedia are really powerful. And you have to remember that the full Expedia group demand is 5x what just Vrbo is. So there's a big addressable market of travelers that we're pursuing there. And I think that we've always had the best supply because we treat suppliers with respect. And we have gone from a place of, after replatforming and building significantly better technology. And I feel like if we fuel that fire with the full scope of the demand, really amazing things are going to happen for the business.
Yeah. I would throughout the last decade, I think it's been very common, a common sentiment in the industry that Vrbo and previously HomeAway always kind of treated the PMs the best, or the hosts the best. Well, I'll say PMs. And always face the music in a really great way. If there was ever a big update and people hate change, you would announce it and then have your event
before the conference, not after.
Before the conference. I've really always respected that. It's I'm sure everyone on the Vrbo team is buckle up, brace for impact.
Trust me. It's exactly.
And
nice and busy that time of year.
Yeah, but I think that that's great because you're here, this change is happening, and we're gonna come hear your vent session or your pain, and then I've really respected that because not everybody does that.
And talk about how we're gonna work through this together because we want the best PMs to be successful, but at the same time, there's just dynamics of marketplaces that we that are going to continue to evolve.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, you've been on the show a few times. We've done rapid fire a few times. Appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you bringing us up to New Hampshire as I'm looking outside and it's just dumping snow again.
It's gorgeous.
It's great. My son is so jealous. But tried to give you some rapid fire questions that we haven't done before.
All right.
To get to know Tim Rosolio.
Oh, God.
And Austin, for that matter.
Okay. I
think I know the answer to this one. So what is your favorite restaurant in Austin?
It's Commodore because I took you there and we had the bone marrow, and I would recommend that everybody goes and have
Bone
the
marrow taco. I've
Yeah.
literally had dreams about these.
Yeah.
They're so good. So for viewers out there, this is an unpaid sponsorship
Yes.
by
I go there, I take pictures of the bone marrow tacos, and I send it to Mike.
and I
love
get
that.
jealous. Yeah.
I need to go. I haven't been there yet in Austin.
right,
So
come on down.
we'll
You'll
come.
love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Best barbecue place in Austin.
The best one's Franklin's, but you have to wait for 5 hours in line. And
I waited once.
and
It was a long time.
it's a long time. So you can go to Terry Black's and you'll wait for 15 minutes and it will be 85% as good.
1A, 1B.
Yeah, you've been to
Yeah.
Terry Black's,
Yeah.
right?
I have. Yeah.
Okay, it's good.
Favorite short-term rental amenity?
That's, you know what? I really like the ones that have I went to one that had the big rock. You know the big rock for whiskey?
Yeah.
Oh
It
yeah.
had a like maker of the big rock, which was a nice
So
touch.
you can make multiple.
Yes, well, you know, if
Here
you,
we go.
Yeah,
should you,
Can't
should you
just
care
have
to?
Should you care to have more than one beverage?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
And
that's
we got a
not
nice
Tim.
fireplace here, you know. And it's be a good place. to-
Honestly, fire with like the snow coming in and these big
And brown
windows
liquor,
and and a whiskey sounds pretty nice.
A nice porter.
Yeah.
Big dark beer.
Mm.
Let's see. What is one myth that you keep hearing about Vrbo that you want to dispel?
I mean, the main one is that Vrbo is just Vrbo. The major one that is why we did all this hard work is this is about everything that Expedia Group has to offer, and that demand is a hell of a lot more than just Vrbo.
Yeah.
This was the vision of buying HomeAway, Vrbo. How many years ago? 8?
10 years ago,
10?
10 years ago, but I think we ran the company for years to a certain extent as like almost like a private equity firm that owned a bunch of OTAs. Separate stack for hotels.com, separate stack for Expedia, separate stack for Vrbo. And because of that independent, we were having independent businesses, which I guess would help you go fast. But in today's day and age, it has to be about the power of the technology as a whole.
Okay.
I have one final question. What's your favorite mountain to ski on?
Oh boy. Well, I'm skiing here in New Hampshire this weekend. I do like Deer Valley. Deer Valley's
Great
nice.
choice.
And I like that it's
Ski only.
skiing because there's no snowboarders.
I know. That's
Pushing the snow.
See, I'm in a house divided, so I have to be
Yeah.
political.
And I'm not saying that from a snobby perspective, even though I'm positive that's what it comes across as.
Skiers get it.
Skiers get it. The snow is different. The snow is different. Yeah.
No amateurs are
We'll
pushing
see.
it
We'll
down.
maybe get some angry comments with great engagement.
Yeah.
All right, last one for me.
Yeah.
And it's a 2-part question. Who is going to win a national championship first, Auburn or Texas?
Oh man.
And when will Texas get theirs?
So I'm going to try to do this from a relatively objective perspective.
We suck, so it's not going to be us anytime soon.
You said it, I didn't. I would say that fortunately or unfortunately, today's college football is a lot about how much money you have. And someone once said that all of the money that isn't under the Vatican is at the University of Texas. So I like our odds.
And poaching our $4 million receiver.
That did happen.
Yeah.
That did happen.
So-
I'm sorry about that, but
That's
not
all right.
really.
He needed to go.
Yeah,
It was fine.
got a nice raise.
Exactly. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
So awesome. Well, appreciate the time.
Hey,
Yeah.
always good seeing you.
Thanks, Tim.